Welcome and good morning, Knicks fans and basketball fans everywhere. This is Big Nick Burt coming to you with that Big Nick energy. What we are typically seeing at the NBA level is either a 2-3 or a 3-2 zone. You're not going to really see a 1-3-1. We've seen some boxing one, with Curry and Trae Young, but it's just not typical. So today I just want to talk about a 2-3 and a 3-2, and we will be using some footage of some man offense, but it's using the principle of a zone. What is the goal when you go into a zone set? The goal for a 2-3, keep guys out of the paint. Make them shoot, make them do those little things. When you set up a 3-2, you're respecting the shooter, but you're going to give up the inside. Take a listen to these Charlotte announcers. They know what they're talking about.
Shooting is not the Knicks' repertoire. They only make 10 a game.
So Charlotte knows this coming in. We're not a big shooting team. They're going to live and die by keeping us out of the paint. Just like there are principles to the defense, where you can recognize a zone even in a man, there are principles to attacking these defense. Namely, when you have a 2-3, you want to attack with the off number of guards. So either one guard or three guards. This idea also applies to a 3-2 set, a boxing one, anything. You always want to attack with the off number. Let's see that in real time.
On that one, to get it there in a hurry. Morris!
Case in point, Knicks have three guards at the top of the key versus a 2-3 set. They get an open look at the top of the key for three. If you've been watching Knicks basketball, you know Randle really deserved that most improved player. And the reason being, he turns those defenses on its head. Marvin Williams comes out to guard him at the three-point line. Very aggressive closeout. Pretty much saying, go drive, because he knows he's got two guys behind him ready to help.
Randle got to the rim.
Unfortunately, Williams did not remember Randle is a dominant left-handed player, and two guys helping, three guys helping, doesn't really matter. He's getting the bucket. If you can't stop people from getting to the rim in a 2-3 zone, you're going to lose badly. It is no surprise Charlotte comes out in the third playing a 3-2 trying to stop the penetration. When you see the 3-2, you got to pick a side. Whatever side you want. If you're a left-handed player, go left. If you're right-handed, go right. But really you want to react to who's got the strongest defender and where do you think you can score. With the Knicks, they want Randle on that weak side for the swing all the way around so he can attack the weak side with his strong left hand.
Hornets playing a little bit zone here.
So the play starts. Payton is all the way to the right. We see Mitchell Robinson come up. He sets a little screen, but since it's a zone, doesn't really matter. Zeller does the smart thing and pops out to trap Payton on the outside. And that's really what you want with the 3-2. That's its strength. Now Zeller recognizes this and he goes to trap, but Martin gets hung up on Robinson and he misses his assignment there. So Payton is able to keep his dribble and keep his head up with a minimum amount of pressure. As soon as Payton is over to the right side, Mitchell Robinson retreats back to the paint to occupy the weak side block defender. At the same time, Bullock is tied to a string to follow Payton to be his safety valve, to be his outlet pass if he gets trapped, if he doesn't have an option. And that's where defeating the 3-2 is pretty simple. Because of that safety valve, you can always swing it to the weak side where Randle is waiting to exploit the weak side mismatches, exploit the people out of position. So Payton has some options when he's over here on the right side. If Zeller didn't come up to help, you could lob it into Mitch and he could just go to work one-on-one against Zeller. Because Zeller does come to help, Mitchell Robinson does occupy the weak side block defender, and Reggie is always available at the top of the key, occupying the middle guard. Because everybody is occupied watching the ball and they have too much responsibility, we have Morris, which I call the trailer or the fill-in man. He's just a guy who can float around and fill in a spot where there's an opening. At this point, the weak side swing is the deadliest option. You got Randle all alone on the opposite side. And the reason why it's so deadly is because Bridges is now stuck covering the foul line, the entire weak side, all the way out from the paint to the three-point line. Just like Bridges has too much responsibility, so does Rozier at the top of the key. He's got the safety valve in Bullock, and he's got the float guy in Morris. Payton makes the right decision, keeps his dribble alive, resists the trap, keeps his head up, and hits the open guy at the foul line. Let's fast forward to this season. The Cavaliers here are running a man, but we're going to treat it like they're fronting us with 3 guards as a 3-2 zone. This is a big NBA offensive movement. You got a 3-2, and you're going to attack it with 4 guys up top. Just like we saw before, you're going to want to choose a side. They go all the way to the right, and they leave Fournier floating on the weak side for the swing. Osman knows the weak side swing is a really deadly option right now, so he's got his eye on Fournier, and he's also paying attention to the movement going on where the ball is. Noel and Toppin come to the top of the key to set double screens for both Burks and for IQ, the ball handler. This doesn't look so dissimilar to what we were seeing with Payton a year or two ago. We have Fournier still in the corner, waiting for the swing. We have Burks there as the safety valve. We have Noel drawing the block defender out to the three-point line. And then we have Toppin, who's able to get free because Rubio can't fight over a screen. The Cavs had a lot of success putting Mobley at the middle guard position. His length, his speed, he's just a good option to stop the ball handler from penetrating. But just like we saw with Charlotte, Randle doesn't care if you're playing defense with 5 people because he's just dominant. He knows what he's doing. This is a legitimate 3-2 zone, and Randle's going to be able to pick it apart by going through every option.
The first minute. Yeah, they were bumbling.
First, when you attack the 3-2, we know to use the off number of guards. So you see Derrick Rose there, you see Fournier. They're attacking it with 2 guys up front. Mitch is on the weak side block occupying Allen. RJ is on the strong side corner occupying the strong side block defender. Because of the spacing and the way we attack this defense, Randle's able to catch the ball just below the foul line. Because of the gravity of Fournier, Rose, RJ, and Mitch, no one can come and help Mobley with Randle. Every Knicks player is within 1 pass of Randle and a deadly shooter or a threat for a lob or a drive. Ultimately, Mobley needed the help with Randle. He can't contain him, and Randle's going to get the bucket. For the 3-2 to be successful, you have to have strong guard defenders. Because Rubio can't keep up with Rose, Rose can get to the rack, the strong side block defender has to come over and help. The weak side block defender should be rotating over to cover Mitch, but because he wants to stay with Fournier on the three-point line, Mitch is able to get the rebound. Remember we said you have to attack with the off number of guards. If they do a 3-2, you can beat them with just 1 guy if he's got Godspeed.
To check in. Rose fakes, drives, goes inside off the glass.
I'm going to let the legend Walt Clyde Frazier handle this one.
That should never happen against the zone. But Rose so clever and slick off the bounce.
Randle's so nice, we're going to see him do it twice. He misses the lay-in, but same as before, Mitch is there to clean it up. So what did we learn about a zone defense? When you attack it, you want to attack with the off number of guards, and you want to have a good number of options that you can read and react to. With the 2-3, you can just put your shooters along the three-point line and just drive and kick until you get an open look. With the 3-2, you're going to want to choose a side and then send your safety valve behind you so you always have an option to get out of there if you need it. But ultimately, you need good shooters. You can't survive a zone if you can't shoot the ball. I'm Big Nick Burt, and I'm giving you that Big Nick energy so you can go out on that court and score some buckets.